What is up, guys? Hero Evan here. It's been a long time since I posted, but I don't really actively play this game too much anymore. I'm just there on the sidelines. But I do have an updated hero deck profile with the new stuff that came out today. So I figured why not just make another deck profile. It's been a while. Alright, so first we have 3 Stratos. Either search for your heroes or pop background when he's summoned, equal to the amount of heroes you control on resolution of the effect. It's non-targeting, so that's great. He's why you don't really need back removal in the deck, but most of the time you're just going to get the search effect going. That effect's just really good. Next, 2 Shadow Mist. You should all know what this guy does by now, but if you don't, he has 2 effects. You can only use one of his effects per turn and only once per turn. Either on special summon, search your deck for your mass change, or any quick play spell card that has changed the name. Or if he's sent to the graveyard, you can add any hero monster from your deck to your hand. I don't think he can add itself, but there's no real reason to add itself. Most of the time, you'd be adding something like Stratos or Ferris off the effect. Or, of course, you summon it off Solid Soldier and get your mass change search. Doesn't come up too much, but it comes up just enough to be relevant for the search. The 2 other normal summons for the deck are the 1 Solid Soldier. If you played heroes in the past and you played Goblinberg or Tin Goldfish, he is essentially Elementally Hero Goblinberg. On summon, a normal summon another level 4 lower hero from hand. And if he is sent from field to graveyard for the summon of a fusion monster, you can summon any level 4 lower hero monster in graveyard. So the main combo with this guy is you search him out off something like Cross Crusader, you normal summon your Stratos from hand, and then you polymerization with on your field, get back your Stratos, get another search, or pop some more back row. Pretty good. I think this guy's the best normal summon in the deck, personally. And we have the 1 new copy of Liquid Soldier. He's just out of the new legendary duel set that came out today. On normal summon, you can summon a level 4 lower hero from graveyard, so he's a Wolfbark. If you know about Fire Fist in the past, he's Wolfbark. And if he's sent to the graveyard, either the graveyard or banish, for the summon of a fusion monster, you can draw 2 cards, discard 1. But like Shadow Mist with his 2 effects, you can only use 1 effect per turn and only once per turn. He's a water, so it's really cool for summoning Absolute Zero off Miracle Fusion. I don't think he's as good as a normal summon as Solid Soldier, but he's still pretty good. In case if you have to discard something like a Stratos off of a Ferris. But most of the time, though, I usually just get my searches off Solid Soldier. Liquid Soldier hasn't really come up too much for me so far, but then again, I also don't really play this game as often anymore. So things I could be saying, take with a grain of salt. And then to finish off the Elementally Hero, just the 1 Honest Neos. Search it off Shadow, search it off Shadow Mist, search it off Cross Crusader. It just gives you a thing, beefy attack, it's always good. Moving on to the Destiny Heroes. 3 Malicious, because you kind of need your 3 Malicious to do some of your combos. Some combos you don't actually need them, though, from my time solitaring with this deck. But you still need them at 3, though. The card's really good for what the deck tries to do with Dread Decimator. 1 copy of Dynatag. Dynatag is a little bit obscure, but if you've seen hero deck profiles recently, this guy's been popping up a lot. The main reason why this guy's played is you just send him to grave off of Fusion Destiny, and you can banish him to beef up your Dystopia by thousands until the end of your opponent's turn. And Dystopia has an effect where if his attack is not equal to his original attack once per turn, you can pop a card on the field. So that's his main use. He also has a hand effect. It's not really all too great though, but it might be relevant. Honestly, I don't know what it does, but I should by now. Just really a thing of me not playing this game too much, honestly. It could be relevant though, could be. I know it's somewhat decent. The 1 copy of Celestial. Some people are cutting this card. I've even seen a list play Draw Hand, I think the name is, instead of this guy. But Celestial's just good, though. He does the most amount of bird damage off of Dystopia. And if you fall behind, if you don't TK and they clear your board, he can just get you a new hand. it's pretty alright. Nothing groundbreaking for the deck though, but it's solid. Next, the one copy of Dusted Gold. Just mid combo, search off Stratos or Cross Crusader, pitch it for your Dark Calling, then summon your Malicious Bane. The card's not needed as much anymore with since the release of the new Legendary Duel set, but he's still in there for crazy OTKs. But overall, it's not needed. Next for the Vision Heroes, 2 Vion, on summon, dump any hero from deck to grave. Most of the time, you either dump Shadow Mist or Mally, then just banish a hero from your graveyard, add a poly from deck to hand. Most of the time, you banish something like Ferris or increase. Not Ferris, because it increases on your field when you summon him. Most of the time, you just banish your Ferris to add your poly. This once Ferris is in grave, you don't really do too much with it, except if you have to keep it in there to use Dark Calling with, since it is a level 5 or higher monster. Speaking of Ferris, you want to open this guy. You don't want to search him. Like, of course you want to search him, but it's just infinitely better to open this guy instead. If you open him, you go through most of your combo without needing your normal summon. So then mid-combo, you search out both Stratos and Solid Soldier for even more plussing. That's pretty value town. Ferris is good, Ferris is good. Let's discard a hero special from hand. On summon, send any Vision hero from your deck to your Spell and Trap zone as a face-up continuous trap card. But you're locked in the heroes for the rest of the turn. It's a necessary card. I hate how a lot of things in this deck lock you into heroes for the turn. But the deck doesn't need anything other than heroes. It would just be nice for super poly plays if you weren't locked in the heroes, though. But for the way the deck is right now, you don't care at all because everything is, in fact, a hero. Next up is 2 Increase. No 3 because he is a complete dead draw. No 1 because if you draw 1, you don't want your Ferrises to be dead the rest of the game. As a player, Lord of Darkness, so if you draw 1, it's not all too bad as long as you also see the lore. But with this guy, if he is in your Spell and Trap zone as a continuous trap card, you can tribute a hero you control, summon it to your field, and on summon, you can special summon a Vision hero from your deck. So you just pitch a monster, summon Ferris, send this as a continuous trap, increase the effects, get rid of Ferris, special summon, and use the effect special summon Vion from your deck. So if you don't use your normal summon, that is your 2 monsters on field for your Cross Crusader without even using your normal summon. And the Vion probably sent Shadow Mist to add your Stratos. You make Cross Crusader, special lock Mally, Cross Crusader effects, ditch Mally, add Solid Soldier in hand, and then normal summon Solid Soldier, special summon Stratos, and go off even more from there. It's value town. To finish off the monster lineup, it's 2 Ash Blossoms. This is going second deck. You need some sort of hand traps. Not really much more I can say about that. Spell cards. Hero Lips. Opening this card is insane. Either get a free Mass Chain Search or just summon your Stratos for free and add whatever the heck you need to add. I want this card to come back. I still hate this card, but it's still super good. Next up, 3 E-Call. Search out your Stratos, search out your Solid Soldier, your Shadow Mist, your Honest Nears, your Liquid Soldier. And Stratos is pretty much why the deck could play right now. It just adds way too much consistency to the deck. And E-Call just gets you even closer to that consistency card. And it's also a consistency card in itself. Same thing with Rhoda, except Rhoda can also add Vion if you need to for some reason. But most of the time, you just add the Stratos, add the Ferris, special Ferris, get your increase, get your Vion, and yeah, you're almost always adding Stratos. 3 Mass Change, because Dark Claw is still a good card. Next we got Fusion Destiny. If you resolve a Fusion Destiny, you can either choose to resolve at the start of your combo to summon your D hero Dangerous. So you can dump something like Mally and Shadow Mist. Then Shadow Mist gets you your Ferris or your Stratos. Probably Ferris, so you have another hero in hand, so that way you can just keep going without your normal summon. Or if you want to save it towards the end of the combo, let's say you already have Ferris and another hero in your hand, you can just save it for later and dump Dynatag and Celestial Fusion Destiny end of combo to summon your Dystopia. And Dystopia doesn't die until the end of your opponent's turn, so you get free pops out of it. Very solid card, very solid combo starter. So the one Poly, to add off Ion, you can use Poly twice in the same combo because you're playing a Wonder Driver. Mally is really good for Wonder Driver plays. But Poly gets you into your new Sunrise. Speaking of Sunrise, he searches out your Miracle Fusion. This card summons Ab-Zero. Ab-Zero is still a Regeki. It's pretty good. The one Dark Calling. This just gets you into your Malicious Bane, Spanish your Dusted Gold, or like a Dead Fusion, or a Dead Mally, or Ferris and Graveyard. Next up, we have 3 Allure Darkness. These can really be anything. I just personally like Allures, but if I were going to something like a regional, I'd probably play Effect Veils instead. In theory, these are probably best used to be infinite impermanences. I just don't own them. I don't care to own them because I don't play this game too much anymore. But Allure's good in case you draw excess, like Ferris's, Increases, Shadow Miss. Just turn those dead cards into more cards, hopefully. Then I'm playing 41 cards. The last card is this new card. It is Magistry Alchemist. You can banish 4 hero from your graveyard to summon any hero from your grave. Or you banish 4 heroes from your grave and or face up on field. Summon any hero from your graveyard, ignoring summoning conditions, so you can get back any of your fusion monsters. It also does some other stuff if you banish a wind, fire, water, and earth hero. It doubles your attack and I think it negates your opponent's effect, something like that. That would be very good if this deck was playing a fire hero monster. It plays all the other attributes. It plays the Shrouds from Winds, Solid Soldier's Earth, and Liquid Soldier as Water, but you don't play fire. If you really want to resolve that part of the effect, you could play Super Poly form Nova Master in the Salamangreat matchup, but the extra deck just has no room at all, in my opinion. Heroes have always had a super tight extra deck. This incarnation is no exception to that. But this is the 41st card. You can cut it if you want. I just want to test it out, see how it goes. I think it has potential. Because even if you don't get back a Fusion, you can still get back a Shadow Mist to add your Mass Change. You can still special back Stratos, get your Pops, get a Surge, get whatever you need. Add back Honest Neos, special back Honest Neo, so you can discard for its effect on field, which you will never use otherwise, because Honest Neo should never be hitting the fields. But it's an option. For the extra deck. 2 Dark Law, because Dark Law is still a very good card right now. Of course, you can't just summon Dark Law Pass. You need to back them up with things like Dystopia and Dread Decimator. Next we have Anki. He's so cool for OTK plays. Run over something to, if it hits grave, add another Mass Change back to hand. Turn your Anki into Dark Law. It's the same old. The one Acid. He is in here for 2 reasons. First, the obvious Ab-Zero into Acid play just for the free field nuke. It's alright. I don't think it's all too necessary, but it's still a thing. And the second reason is if your Liquid Soldier gets like Veilered or Impermed or whatever, you can just chain Mass Change, go into Acid, and your Liquid Soldier's effect will so resolve properly. You can play Diane for the same thing on your Solid Soldier, but Acid has a little more utility than that, being the Ab-Zero play. But the Veil Impermanence counter with Mass Change is pretty much the only reason why Blast played. And Stratos is too important to resolve, so with a Veil Impermanence Stratos, you kinda have to have your Mass Change to still go off. And Blast can bounce back row. He's not all too bad. It's not the greatest card ever, though. It's better than Divine Wind, though, because Divine Wind's the card you Mass Change into probably won't stay on field, considering you need to get into your Cross Crusader. And at that point, it's your only extra monster out on the field that you Mass Change into. So he's better than Divine Wind because Divine Wind will not stay on field, and Blast at least has an effect during your main phase before you link it away. For the Destiny Hero stuff, the one Dystopia, He does burn damage and he pops a card. He's pretty good. Just be wary that he needs 2 Destiny heroes, so he doesn't work off something like Shadow Mist. So typically I just make him using Mally and most likely Dynatag, honestly. I haven't really used Celestial all too much yet. The one dangerous, so if you open Fusion Destiny, you can dump Shadow Mist and Mally. He has another Foolish Burial effect, but you will never use it. If you ever used it before in this kind of build, let me know in the comments. The one Sunrise, he completely replaces Adoration now. Since the time I summoned Adoration during the old combo, it can just be a Sunrise instead to grab Miracle Fusion to your hand. So that way, instead of ending on a field of like Dread Decimator, Dystopia, Malicious Bane, and Adoration, you still end on Malicious Bane, Decimator, and the whatchamacallit. Bane, Decimator, and I'm blanking on what I just said. But to that field, you also, instead of the Adoration, you substitute it out for Sunrise, and you could also add on Absolute Zero depending on how good your hand is. He has another effect. I think your things gain attack. What is it? Oh yeah, it just has a continuous effect. Monster you control gain 200 attack for each of an attribute you control. So let's say you just have Sunrise, Dystopia, and Decimator. You just all your things are getting that extra added attack on because of the Sunrise. So that's so really, and even if you don't have that Dread Decimator, you just have some sort of generic link out like Cross Crusader. Sunrise still gets your Dystopia's attack not equal to his original attack for the pop. In his other effect, if an attack is declared involving another hero monster you control, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. It's alright. That kind of effect isn't really too good nowadays. If this card was around back during like Light Hero Beat, that would have been insane. You just make that with Stratos and Alias or Bubbleman and Alias. That card would have been so good back then, dang. Next we got Ab-Zero. It's the only thing you really Miracle Fusion into. It takes any water monster plus any hero monster. Unlike the rest of the Omni heroes, he doesn't need an elemental hero. So you could use any of your Vision heroes, any of your Destiny heroes, and even any of your Master heroes in Graveyard, and you can just Miracle Fusion into him. His Reki effect is so hard to dodge. I don't think anything really nowadays outside of Evenly Matched can dodge his Regeki effect. The only real way to dodge it is to first flip it face down, and then do something like Null Mana Cross Out, or like Compulse. So then he can't be face up when he leaves the field, and can't hit Grave. Like, he either needs to go back to the extra deck face down, or straight up be banished face down for the effect not to trigger. So Evenly Matched can dodge it. Nothing else in the meta today really can. But it also doesn't really matter when things like Abyss Dweller and Called by the Grave, and something else I'm blanking on. Alright, Dingirisu. All those things can either stop Absolute Zero or not make it nearly as good. So the card isn't as good anymore, but it's still a really good surprise in a lot of matchups. Next thing, Malicious Bane. He is OTK the card. He's essentially a field wipe. Speaking of OTK the card, one copy Vision Hero Trinity. Any 3 hero monsters on summon double its attack for the turn and can attack 3 monsters, but he can't attack directly. There was one time at a regional, my friend was doing the hero mirror match. His opponent left on 3 hero monsters plus a Malicious Bane attack. Malicious Bane can't be tripped in battle. So my friend top decked Super Poly, and he had a Shadow Mist in hand. So Super Poly to 3 away, that and he left Malicious Bane in field. Super Poly to 3 away, make Trinity, discard Shadow Mist at Honest Neos on Trinity, and Trinity to smack Malicious Bane 3 times per game. I think each time he was taking like 4,500. It's this card is stupid sometimes, and he's a dark, so you can just smash change him into Dark Law or Anki if you have to. For the links, 1 Dread Decimator. He is the main link you almost always have on the field. Just pump up all your power for OTK plays. The 1 Wonder Driver. I only really summon him if I don't really use Mally elsewhere in the combo, but he's good in case if when you use Polymerization, you just summon this guy, use your Poly, summon the Fusion Monster right below him. Wonder Driver triggers, immediately get back your Poly so you can use it again later on in the combo for your Dystopia. Or he could also be good for Mass Change plays, just get back your Mass Change. And then, by far the most important link is your Cross Crusader. So any 2 heroes, on summon, get back a D hero from grave. You should be a D hero, add a different hero card with a different name from deck to hand. And he also locks COD hero monsters for the turn. Which, like I said back with Ferris, it kind of sucks, but at the same time, this deck doesn't need any non-hero monsters. The only time you ever summon non-hero monsters in this deck is either during your opponent's turn if you have a Nibiru, or if you play Super Poly. If you do play Super Poly, I would definitely recommend playing something like a Lambda, or like a Wii Witch's Apprentice, but probably Lambda. One of my friends even plays Beat Cop, so he can summon it if he gets Nibiru with the token. So if you have the space, I do kinda-ish recommend playing a generic Link 2. Because of either getting away Super Poly targets in the field, or, again, get rid of the Nibiru token that you're not doing anything with. Then, token, because you kinda need one from Nibiru. All I do have a side deck, it's not that great. I'm not really too in tune with the meta right now. But what I do have, though, is Triple Lancia, because decks like Thunder and Orcus are still there. In case if you win game 1 and you know your opponent's gonna force you to go first game 2, there's the Plasma. You search it out mid combo and summon it. You could probably end on something like Decimator, Dystopia, Plasma, maybe even a Dark Claw if you're lucky. I haven't really done too much testing around with Plasma. I got 2 Nibiru because you want to combo them, you don't want them to combo you. And you're going second deck anyway. Next card in case if Stratos isn't enough back row removal against trap heavy decks, Twin Twisters is there. Against even more back row heavy decks. Or like specifically Striker, there's also Eradicator Virus. The dirtiest thing you could do with this card is you can either do it on Darklaw if you have a Decimator out, but you don't want to get rid of Darklaw. You just get rid of something like a Dystopia after its pop, while you have a Darklaw on the field against Strikers, and then this card is just way too dirty then. They can even summon like a Kagari to get their engages back. It'll just be banished. It's just rude. And then 3 Evenlies, because I didn't know what else to put in here. Well, anyway, that's the deck. Hope someone learned something from this deck. Like I said, I haven't really been playing this game all too much recently. Too much school, too much work, too much of other card games. But I hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time. Hopefully not as long next time, though.